Okay, so it's time to pick up where we started off. I'm thinking about doing a course at top, so that's what this is. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this mod. So, the last video I stopped. I got all of this into the game. I got this part colorable. I might make some adjustments to it a little bit, but what I want to do now is get the rest of this mod set together, right? So we've got the body parts. That's all looking good, but there is a cape on here, and there's some wings, right? We got these cool wings back here, and then we have there's hair, which I'm not going to use. We also have a mask, which should be relatively simple. I haven't decided if I'm going to make this part have physics. I don't think I will, so that way I can make it colorable. And then we have, oh, that's the large pieces. Where's the cape at? Where is the cape? I hope I didn't delete it. I didn't delete it. Okay, so here is the cape piece. I have to get the materials made for it, but this is going to be a pretty simple situation. Right, so we've got a cape on the front, and we've got a cape on the back. Right, so it's pretty simple. But in order to make it have physics, I need to make sure that I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit backslash to isolate it, and I'm going to create a physics mesh for this. So, and it's going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to use speed retopo to kind of like get the general idea done. So we're going to go into speed retopo, select this, start the retopo, just create like a line or something on it, set a B surface, and I'll turn that off. Let's go to this, and basically, and let's switch this down to just 1 for now. Alright, so what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to create a really simple mesh here. So we'll just put like this, and I think I'm just going to use the extrude point section. So we'll just extrude, and I can make these pretty long, right? And then let's see, how do I want to do this next part? We'll do it like this because it's got like a curve to it. Oops, where's the other? Hey, where's the other line? All right, so up to here, to here, and then up to here. And then I'm going to have to close that up, and we'll just close up these ones as well. And now I'm just going to, can I just hit fill? Yep. Oops. Okay, so that should be filling. I might have issues with my normals, so I'll have to check that out. Let's split this in half for a second, and let's get rid of this line and then join it like that. Oops. Alright, so I'm going to check my normals real quick. Yep, so yeah, so I'm at A, all the FN, and I'm gonna just recalculate outside. We should be good. Alright, nice. Alright, and then I'm just gonna make these pieces, so we'll just do it. I'll do it like this, and then like this, and then we'll just bring this up, this up. Alright, cool. And then I'll just go ahead and fill those pieces in. Alright, nice. Alright, so I'm going to add a little bit more stuff in here. Alright, I'm going to update the shrink wrap. Nice. Alright, and then I'm just going to use sculpt mode to kind of pull it out close to the edges. And then I have my smooth, or I should have my smooth set to really small. And I'll go ahead and even out these quads a little bit. Oops. Oh man, I don't think I do. Nope, it's on pretty strong. So I'm gonna turn it down really low. If I hold shift while using any tool, it'll automatically do that. And it looks like I messed this section up a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. X faces. Yeah, I did something with like my lines or edges or something. Yeah, I've got this weird extra edge in here. Is it only there? Yep. So let's go ahead and get rid of this face. And then there's probably a line here somewhere. Yep, let's get rid of that edge. Okay, cool. Alright, we'll add another one of these here. And we'll do another one here. Alright, and now I'm just going to try to smooth it out a little bit. Smooth, smooth. I think I got more normals issues. Nope, I don't. But it's whatever. And this is going to end up acting as my whatever. Okay, I'm going to switch this shrink wrap mode to target normal project. Try to clean up a little bit more. And oops. Alright. Okay, so it's not very pretty right now, which is fine. I'm not really super worried about it. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the shrink wrap. Yep. And then I'm just gonna do some manual smoothing. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Alright. And then some pushing and pulling. So what I'm doing now is I'm pulling it out beyond the edges so that it's completely going to be like covering that area. I'll do the same thing down here and pull it down. And I'll fix kind of like how it's setting in just a bit too. But I just want to get this general part done. And I'll just keep this all one big piece. So because the goal with the mesh is you want it to cover like all the areas that are going to be simmed. Because it's gonna there's some type of ray distance it uses, which I don't know, which I need to do a whole bunch of testing to find that I'm going to use. And then I also want to determine what is the more important portion of this piece. So like in this case, it might actually be better to focus on the inside. There's another option I could do. I could probably, depending on the poly counts or whatever, I could do it on the inside instead. Or I could just grab this actual base mesh. Like here, let's take a look at it real quick. And it's not too bad. And I mean, I probably could just use that for the most part. Let me see what the let's see if I did like on the inside. Let's see by UVs maybe. Oops. Yeah, I can turn that off. Let's turn this off. Okay, so it's just the inside. So I could essentially like use this as well as like my base. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna keep it the way I'm doing it right now though. Alright, so here's my poly mesh or my proxy mesh. And I'm gonna do a little bit more sculpting here. make sure it's covering all the parts. Now the parts alright. Now the parts that are going to be still with this section are going to be the shoulder sections, because this is a piece that like kind of like falls over top of the front of the mesh. Nice. I'm going to turn off in front so I can kind of see where it is, and I think I'm going to try to keep it closer to the back end, but I do want these parts to be closer to the actual mesh. So I'm going to use the inflate tool to kind of inflate it initially. Right, so that it's kind of keeping that shape. Right, but it doesn't have to be like 100% perfect. And I think I'm going to end up using what's it called? A decent amount of collisions. So I don't think it's really going to matter too much in this example on like how far away it is. So I'm using a mix of the inflate tool as normal, and then when you see it smoothing out, I'm using holding shift to smooth out those pieces. I don't like this bottom part the way it is, so rather than sculpt it, I'm just going to delete those faces and then extrude from the bottom. Right. And I'm going to add a couple more loops here. And that should, oh, let's get this part out. Grab the face this time, and I'm going to use proportional editing. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Alright, now I think in the guide that's out, people use vertex paints. I don't normally use vertex painting, but I think for this one I will try it out. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and make Control A, all transforms, just so it stays put. We're going to go to vertex paint mode. And someone was saying there was an issue with like the type of brush or something. I don't know what they were talking about though. So I'm just going to use the brush as normal, and I'm going to select all black, and I'm just going to paint it. We're going to make sure strength is at full, and fall off. It just paints all the way through. Alright, and I'm just going to isolate it real quick, or I guess unisolate it. Alright, so there we go. We got our piece. Very nice. And now I'm going to use red. What's my color? I'm going to use full red as my vertex color, and I'm going to just do essentially these parts right here. So this I don't want to move, and this part here I don't really want to move. I'm going to go ahead and isolate it again just so I can get a better look at this section. And what I paint on this one side is getting painted on the other. Now the reason I don't like this is because I can never get the gradient personally to look right. Some people are really good at it. I'm not. But I know how to paint in Unreal, so I'll just use that. Alright, very nice. Okay, so the next option to do is I gotta weight it, and I have to decide how I want to weight it. Let's bring this back. I can weight it by just adding the weights to it from here, which I'm going to start to do. And then what I'm probably going to do is just use the spine 2 weights up here for the rest of this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to grab this, we'll grab this, we'll go weight, paint, weight, transfer weights, make sure it's nearest face interpolated, and by name. There we go. Alright, if I go to my stuff here, I can go to spine, and we'll go to spine 2, which is usually the top. In this case, it's not very not very high, because it's pretty far from the body. Uh, and I think what I'm gonna do is just make it all spine too. Alright, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm going to set this to mirror, even though it's only one side, so I don't really need to mirror it. And I've got it set to auto normalize. And I want to make sure this is going to be parented to my MSL weights, because I'm going to be painting over my MSL rig stuff. And so the auto normalize works, at least from my experience, if it's based on the bones that are actually on the rig. It'll do what it's supposed to do with the auto normalize. So I'm going to make sure it's actually parented to the MSL rig, because I'll be affecting the MSL weights. And I'll set my weight strength to 100, and I'm just going to paint it all up. Paint. So wherever my and also normally I would apply the modifier at this point as well to make sure my weights are good. So I'm going to do that now. It doesn't matter as much because it's not a left and right side weight issue, but if it was, then I'd have a problem. Now I don't think, now my PRP weights really aren't being affected too much. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set, alright, so there's the PR2, I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it as it is, right? So whenever this thing is adjusted, when it goes in game for whatever specific character it's on, it's going to use these weights. But I think I might just make the whole thing PRP. Yeah, I'm just going to paint it all PRP. I don't think that's going to cause a problem. I guess I'll find out. Alright, cool. And I'm just going to leave the other weights the same. You can see like they didn't paint over them. And let me see if I was being truthful. Let's go ahead and clear that parent, and let's go ahead and parent it to that rig. And so when I look at these weights, I've got some residual weights like here. So I'm going to see if I paint over this now, will it now erase it? And yeah, it does. So I wasn't lying. So basically, because these bones, these weights apply to certain bones that are on this one, those are the ones that are going to be affected by the auto normalize. And if they're not, or if it's not printed to anything, then it won't work at all as well. So there's that for the auto normalize. But that's pretty simple. Yeah. Nice. Now I think I might actually be able to reuse, because when I did the let's see what I did. Do I have Valhalla? I think okay, so that's not working. Alright, that's not working, is it? Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so it looks like the material is not the same. Let's see. Oh, you know what? That's retarded. So this is actually going to be the cow mesh anyways. Let's set it to this. See it? I also want to hit shade smooth, and we'll go into here, alt N, and average faces. Okay, cool. Yes, that doesn't matter. That's going to be a cow mesh, and I'm going to make this a unique cow mesh because I'm going to add it to the upper body thing. Oh, you know what is also going to be a little bit of an issue? This is built for an MSL PRP. So this is built on a common mesh. So what that means is that the base mesh can be used for all the characters. But I usually run into issues with the physics. So I'm going to try something, and I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll test it out. So I'm going to use an MSL, which is the unique size for the specific character. So in this case, it's going to be Lydia. And so what I think I can do, and I'm not 100% sure, there's two ways that I would go about doing this. The one way is where I just do the physics normally, and then I just use a different physics collision model for it. I think what I'm going to do is put this onto a regular sized version of her. So it's a little bit more work, I guess, but I think it's going to be fine. Well, at least I'm going to try it out. We'll see how it works. But as for the texture, let me isolate this. I think I can use the Valhalla one. So let's go into this, and looks like I cannot. So this is a different texture altogether. So make Control Z, and I will need to make a new texture map for it. Probably have to do the same thing for the hair, but that's pretty simple because I'm just going to use my plane technique, and I'll be good there. So I'm just going to make a new material. I'm going to grab this, I'm going to copy this, and unfortunately I will not be able to color it. So once I create it, I can't color it because the physics don't allow me to color it, and I'm not doing bone physics. Eyes refuse. So I'm going to, let's see, how do I want to do this? We're going to make this unique. Let's call this cape. There we go. So that way it has its own material assigned to its own mesh. And nothing's going to, this isn't assigned to anything, so when I bake it, it's not going to really matter. But I'll switch it over once it's done. Yeah. And I'll see what I can pull from and keep from this. Right. Because I think I made some masks and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Or I might just go back to just the default bake, which is also fine. And I think that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use the default settings essentially. So normals are fine. This is for specular. Oops, I don't want to change that yet. Actually, it should already be set up. Yeah, it's already set up. Okay. I believe I baked it without any adjustments, so I'll just use the unadjusted one in my mod. So it just won't be able to color anymore, which is fine. Let's see. So let's do this real quick. Let's see. Oops, not body. We'll do a bake plane. Bring that back. And I want this material on it. Boom. There we go. And now just do my thing. And we'll do it. So I'm going to do an MRA. So when I'm using the cloth, I'm using an MRA texture map. Image, save as. And this will be cape MRA. And I only need a color. And so the, oops, that's well, I guess I can grab this normal as well, I guess. Save as. Actually, I think I created the cape. Where's the cape? Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know what I did. I think I saved over something, I think. I don't know. But I need it as a normal. Anyways. Alright, now I'm going to bake the color, and then I got to go back and bake the MRA. Save as. And this will be a PC. And we'll go ahead and I don't need an OBD or a TSD for this situation. Image save as. Alright, nice. That's really all I need, and there's not really any alphas to worry about, so I don't need to make a separate alpha map. Let's reset this back to what it is normally. So clear all that, make sure it's cleared. And I'm just gonna plug this back into here. I'm gonna grab this, which is specular. Go back into there. And this, I believe. Oh, there's so many connections. That's the only thing I don't like about my add-on right now. It really, I have a new add-on idea that I'm working on, but it's not ready. Okay, so this is for roughness. And then I don't know if there was a metallic map. Out this, I'm going to replace with this. Okay, so now it's back to its original stuff, and I believe I already have those maps already. So I'm just making it so it just looks the same while I'm working with it in here. Alright, cool. Alright, so that gives me that. The other option I have is to make this rope have physics as well. But for now, I think I'll just leave it as is. Okay, cool. So let's see, what is the next step? Alright, so I've got my textures. I'm gonna just call this one cape proxy, and I'll call this one cape. And this one, yeah, everything should be good. And I think, do I have weights on this? I don't know. I don't think. So you have the original weights. I'm going to go ahead and delete all the original weights because I don't need them. And I'm going to take the weights from my proxy and bring it over to this one. Okay, cool. I don't need this to be visible. I want to put these. We're going to add these to the upper body section. So cape. Right. Nice. Okay, so that is essentially that when it comes to adding this. So now let's go ahead and get the physics set up. And I got to figure out how I want to do that. So let's see. I'm going to hide this. I'm going to hide all these other pieces. For now, let's hide PRP rig as well. Oh, let's actually, so I want to, what do I want? I want this full body. Okay, so I want this full body. And I'm going to hit Shift D. And I'm going to call this one Adjusted Lydia. Okay. And so, what do I want to do? So I've got this body, and we're going to hide that one. And these pieces, I can hide those, and the gloves. I can hide those, I believe. Alright. I might want to adjust this cloth a little bit more. I don't know. Let me see. Because I'm not sure if I like this whole piece like sticking out of the arm like that. Yeah, I don't think I like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a surface deform real quick, see if that helps, so I can do something non-destructive. So I'm gonna select my my cape, and I'm gonna make a surface deform, and I'm gonna attach it to this cape proxy, and then I'm going to bind it. And so now whenever I move this cape proxy, my other thing should automatically move with it. Yep. So you can see I move it like that, and you can see the underside moves as well. Just because it's a little bit of a simpler mesh, and I'm just going to kind of move these pieces so they are. Oh, and before I do that, let me hit Control Z. This, I'm going to create a shape key for it. Set that to 1. Alright, and just isolate these things. And now I'm going to go ahead and change. And the reason I'm doing a shape key is just in case I get like cold feet and I want to be non-committal. That way everything that I'm doing is going to be essentially non-destructive. If I use the grab tool, it pulls the stuff a lot more specifically. But it can be pretty violent and start. So you want to be a little bit careful when you're using it. And everything that I'm doing here is going to be deforming my mesh as well. So I want to keep that in mind as well. Oops. Hey, give me this piece. There we go. And so I just want to kind of get it off. I want it over the shoulders, but like off the shoulders as well. And it would have been better if I made this a little bit more But I don't want to change it too much because my other mesh is being deformed with this one. So let's see what's going on. So I'm going to go back into material preview mode and take a look at it and say, try to see like how it's looking. Does it look okay? And then I can still move my proxy around, but I can also do it with seeing its impact on the mesh that I'm changing. Right, and then I'm also going to add a corrective smooth to the actual cape piece. So smooth correct. Wow, that's a did it completely revert it? I think it might have. Do I have to do it first? Alright, so I'm going to set the corrective. I'm going to do some quick edits to this situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbind this. Alright, so, oh wait, hold on, let's see. Is it still, yeah, let's put the correct smooth on this side. Okay, so it's, actually that's not too bad. We're going to keep it as is. I thought it was deforming too much or going back to the original, and it's not, so. But I'm not getting a lot of give here, and I don't like it. Okay, so I think what I am going to do is I'm going to kind of reset this a little bit. So I'm going to go back to this, and we're going to just hide that for right now and unbind that. This is the mesh, and I'm going to add a subdivision so it's a little bit smoother, and I'm going to take this back to its original position so now they all match up. Okay, cool. And I'm going to apply that. Cannot be compliant with the shape key. So let's see if it matters. I don't know if it's going to matter. Let's see. Let's go ahead and grab this back, and I'm going to rebind it. Alright, so now it's bound again. Oops. If I make edit changes. There we go. So it's rebound again. And I should have a little bit more control. How I move it. I'm going to turn these on so I can see all of my changes. Wait, why is it not working now? Oh, maybe I gotta turn my shape key back on. Okay, there we go. Turn my shape key back on. Turn my strength up a little bit. Alright. And I shouldn't have to worry about it too much, to be honest, just because it's going to be underneath the other piece. I just want it off of this shoulder, showing it a good bit. Pull it a lot more. tool. Does not want to not be tucked in there like that. Let's hit this and see. Let's turn on the shoulder pieces. Okay, so I definitely need to fix this. Can't have this going through that. And I think I am going to end up weighting it a bit. I want this part nice and close because it's attached. This part. Okay, the back is looking okay. And let's get this off of. Alright, I think that's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and apply shape key. And for this, if I wanted to keep it, I can, or I can get rid of it. I can take it back, keep it. But I think I'm going to keep it. So, and I'm going to keep the corrective smooth, I think. See which looks better. Yeah, I'll keep the corrective smooth. So I'm going to apply both of these all at the same time. So just going to go ahead and convert it to mesh. Boop. Alright, so that's that. This is this. I'm going to redo the weights for this piece real quick because I want. Oh, this part really separated. Alright, so before I do that, let me get these pieces back to working together. And I thought this was symmetrical, and I feel like it's not symmetrical. So I'm going to just test that real quick. So I'm going to grab. Oops. Turn that off. And I'm just going to apply that as well. Add a mirror. And apply that. And I guess it's not symmetrical, so it is what it is. So now I want to make sure this side is correct as well. So I'm going to go ahead and sculpt this. Make it Oops. Turn symmetry off. Okay, I think that should be. I'll make sure the side is covering this part. Okay, I think that's good enough. Alright, so. Yep, alright, so let's grab this, and then this, and then we'll do a weight paint, weight transfer. Right, there's face interpolated by name. And then I'm going to go in and adjust these weights real quick. Weight to paint. And I'm just going to, this is what, is this on? This is not on a set of bones yet. So let me go ahead and parent like that. And now I want essentially all of these parts to be the spine. Okay, so I'm leaving some of the weights that are closer to the body alone, and these parts that are further from the body, I'm going to go ahead and give them to spine. Because there might be some shoulder switches and things of that nature. Alright, so there's that. Alright, cool. So, now what I want to do is I need to grab a Lydia SKT. So let's go up here, import skeleton, and I need to find me a mesh for Lydia. Hopefully I have one. Unique, CVR, full body, and this one, the 1 PPs are usually MSL only, so I'm going to use that, keep that like that. Alright, so I'm going to use my, let me go ahead and save. I'm going to go ahead and use my my little add-on thing, which is this T8 Mod Assist, and I want to make sure that the cape, let's see how to do this. Alright, so I'm going to try to build the cape proxy, right? So my goal is to create the cape proxy and apply weights to it, and then make the skeletal, the collisions for it, and then apply that to the common body. And I think I can do it. And maybe it'll make sense, maybe it won't. I don't know. But I'm going to try it. See what happens. So I want to make sure this body is set to my armature rig, which it is, and this and this. So both of these need to be set to the MSL rig, parent armature deform. Cool, so it's all there. This I can hide for now, I believe. And yeah. Okay, so now with these selected, I'm going to grab this and then this one, I think, the second one. So this should be the destination. And I'm going to use my match rigs. Okay, cool. Okay, so what it did is it made her bigger, right? So the way this add-on works is, right now it only works with the MSL. So I can take one MSL and move the bones up to the other one. It doesn't work for PRP. And it's not going to work for Umin's MSLs because he's got face stuff in it. But because these bone sets are exactly the same, it works. And it was hell making this add-on. It was really tough. And I've tried to recreate it a couple of times, working with like ChatGPT and Grok and all these guys, and I'm just not getting it. And even adjusting it, once I got to this point, like all the AIs just want to like destroy it. And I am not smart enough to make all the adjustments in the maths to make it work. I think it took me like a couple of days of just grinding after work, and finally got something like this to work. So I got to do more studying. But nonetheless, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the physics asset with this. So let's get that part started. So I'm going to grab this and this, right? And I'm going to go ahead and export it. And I'm going to call this one SKCH common adjusted Lydia MSL for PA ref. Right. And export it. Nice. I'm going to also yeet out all of her stuff and make this a cow mesh, because I don't need to see it. This is a cow mesh, but this is going to be a cow mesh cape, and then this is going to be let's see what I want to do. Let's I'm going to duplicate that and just name it that. Delete that. Okay, so I'm just changing it, the material name slot, and I'm going to use my own custom material because that stuff's not going to be coming over. I just wanted the name for it already. Alright, cool. So let me check my vertex paints. So I think my vertex paints are pretty solid. Alright, and now I just want to grab, I guess I'm going to grab all of it, right? We'll grab, which is going to be the oops, I don't want this rig. So we're going to grab this body. And I want to make sure all the stuff is attached. Okay, so it's all attached. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and export FX. And I want to call this cape transfer. And I don't know why I do this to myself. I'm making things more complicated. But I do. So let's go ahead and, oops, not that. This one. Alright, so the process for making the physics is pretty much the same, I believe. So the goal is create the physics using her normal body proportions, and then transfer that physics data over to the common body. And I believe it may look funky on the common body, but it should look good in the game. Because if I make it look good on the common body, there's a lot of times it just looks bad in the game. The other option is to create something that's like more universal, or try to make it where it's not really using the collisions, but this is going to be pretty hard to do something like that. Alright, and the way I do physics, I do not do the capsules because I'm too lazy. But the way I do physics will often cause my system to shut down. So I'm going to create a new folder and just call it phys. And we're going to import other stuff. Now both of these are MSL rigs, so I can import them together without any issues. So I'm going to find my PA rig and this one, open it up, and do MSL, boop, and then import all. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm going to hit save all. Nice. And who cares what material's on here, it doesn't matter. I'm going to right click, go to create, I'm going to create physics asset, I'm just going to create. I set this to yeah, usually I set it to, we'll set it to 10, I believe. And then we'll just do a capsules. It's pretty quick. I feel it. Alright, and let's change our preview. Where's our viewing mode? Wireframe. Okay, so there we go. We got our body. I'm going to switch this over. I'm going to say any weight. I'm going to turn this to 1, and I'm going to set this to single convex. And then this is for the hull count. So this is when I'm creating multiple convex hulls. This is for the max hull verts, so like how dense this stuff will be. And so I'm going to say 64. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so now I'm going to, I usually do it a couple ways. So we're going to do it in pieces. So I'm just going to grab this chunk. Oops, and hold shift, not caps lock. And then I'm going to just hit regenerate, right? Because I'm making convex now and not hull. So I'll regenerate. Okay, and some of the things it didn't find. And so it regenerated these hulls. But they're kind of, this one is for the hip. I'm going to switch this one to dominant weight. Regenerate it. Okay. So some bones will not want to generate. So that's why I do the any weight. And if there's not enough like weight on it, it just be like boop. I'm not gonna create physics for it. Now I don't really worry too much about like the inside section here because you know I don't expect it to really hit. I will do the all the way down to the foot. The two parts, there's 2 parts, or there's 4 parts really. So there's oftentimes there's a little like deltoid bone up here that doesn't want to get a capsule made for or a convex made for it when it's set to dominant weight. And then also in the hip there's like a little bone that it doesn't want, and I don't want spaces, so that's why I do it like that. if I can avoid it. And I'll leave the foot like that. We'll just do this. Alright. The spine 1 and spine 2, I'm going to set those to dominant weight because I want their shape. And they always make, so I don't have to worry about it. Nice. And then let's do the torso. These should all be fine as well, I believe. I think it's this one, this deltoid driver, that always gives me trouble. So I'm going to do all of this except for the driver. I think that's the one. I'll find out in a second. Okay, so a couple of pieces didn't go through. Oh, see, like that whole arm piece up here? So which one didn't it take? So it didn't want to take the deltoid driver, which I thought I unchecked, and it didn't want to take the deltoid bind. And I can't, like, undo it. Oh wait, it let me undo it. Except for this bone here. It didn't bring it back. So I'm going to go to show all bones. Say deltoid, driver left. Right, that's the one I want. And I'm going to add a body. Unable to, there are no vertices associated with it. What? I will set it to any weight. Why is it not doing it? What if I switch it to capsule? No, it's really teeny tiny. Alright, let me just test this. Did it create it? Nope, it got rid of it. Damn it. Why? Alright, let me reset that. That's the other thing I like about this method is I can just delete it and redo it without too much effort. Oh, great. We'll set it to 1. Whatever. And I added way more bones this time. Too many bones. So I'm going to yeet it again. And I probably just upset my system by making it work too hard. So if it doesn't switch in like the next second, I'm just going to reset. Task. I don't know why it's passing up on those particular bones. It's kind of a mystery to me. So let's go ahead and create physics asset. Let's just set it to 10. I'll just say any weight. And I'll just go from here, and I'm just gonna go 128 and see what I get. I do this all the time, and then I'm just like, what am I supposed to use? What am I not supposed to use? I can't remember. And then I do a bunch of adjustments and all kinds of things like that, and then I end up in the same spot every single time, just with time lost. And I've been thinking about ways to do like better content style videos, but I feel like they're always like, I feel like it's misleading, you know? Because I run into issues with just about every mod. Something either I forgot or something is peculiar about the actual mesh, because I don't just do it all from like one source. I do it from like random sources all over the places, or I create it myself. And so I run into a variety of issues all the time. Okay, so let's look at this. Maybe I just keep it like this. So what I did is I just created it with using the dominant weights, and then that doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look the best either, just because it's kind of dense, and certain parts don't really have any shape to them, which isn't really a big deal based on like what I'm working with. I am gonna switch the spine ones just because I like it to look like it has a hip, and then this is the actual hip. There you go. I want it to be close to the body. I think these ones also, these wings, I can also generate. And then what is this? This is the arm twist. I think I can get that one. What is this one? This is twist out. Alright, what is this one? I'm gonna do it. Please don't disappear. Okay. And then this one. Okay, cool. I'll do the same thing for these two. Just as that they're closer to the body. And what is this? This is the two top trap muscles. And I think those ones are fine as well. There we go. And what is this? This is the neck, which should be fine. Which isn't a big deal with the neck. The hands and stuff, I usually just delete. Because I don't care. So I'm just going to delete the hands. There's no need for them to be there. It's just a bunch of extra bones to calculate for no reason. And then this, alright, so these are the spine bones. Cool. And then what is this? This is, I think I'll just do those. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. Nice. Okay, so now that's saved. Let's make sure just everything's saved. We'll go into here. And let's switch this to asset. Looking at the asset. Okay, and so I have a mesh cape here, which is this one. And then I have a cow mesh. The cow mesh is, if I look in wireframe, the cow mesh is the body, right? And because I already have it in there, it found it and boom, applied it, which is invisible. Now I'm going to put a cow mesh on this one also. However, it is going to be it needs its own slot. The Valhalla cape I'm just gonna ignore for a second. So the one crazy thing with the physics though is if you can't see it, right? So if I isolate this, or if I, here, actually this makes more sense. So if I isolate this cape, right, because this is what I'm going to use to make my stuff. And I should have made a UV map, and you know there's no UV map on it because there's no checkers on it. Right? I don't think that's going to be an issue, but we'll see. But what was I saying? Oh, I need to right click on this and then create the clothing. But if I put the cow mesh on here, right? Cow mesh. I can't click on it anymore. I can't right click on it, so I can't see it. Now if I go into wireframe, I can see it, and then I can click on it and do whatever. So I don't know why that is, but whatever. I'm just gonna call this cape transfer Lydia. All right, and I'm also going to apply collisions. So actually, let me, well, whatever. I'm going to select this, and while that's selected, I'll select this, then I'll do this, and we'll call this one cape TXFR Lydia, and then I'll hit this little button to apply whatever I have selected, hit create, and boom. So now I've created a cloth asset, and then I'm going to hit save. Alright, and usually I don't have any issues with that. And then we'll go to like lit or unlit. And now I need to select the actual cape. So I'm going to just isolate it. So there's our cape. I'll right click on this and then apply the clothing data. And then sometimes when I do this port, yeah, it'll reset. So it'll be like, so I just send the message, whatever, and restart it. And then usually once that happens, I can continue on with no issues. So now I'll just go back into the cape. I'll select, we'll isolate it just so it's by itself. Select it, right click, apply clothing data, cape. Alright, so now the clothing data is on it. Just hit cancel. And now that I applied the clothing data, I'm just going to hit save. Alright, so now that we have our stuff on here, let's go ahead and activate cloth paint. And I'm going to go back to my asset, right? I'm going to hide that. And I'm going to go back to clothing, and I'm going to select this. And when I select this, you can see that the mesh that has the actual cloth stuff is what shows up. And I'm going to, so my max distance, I'm going to go ahead and copy from vertex killer, and it'll be a 1. And I think I did it backwards. Like the whole thing should have been red. Well, I'll show you what's happening. So if I copy it, okay, you see that it's it applied 1 to the top. Now I need to apply 100, but at this point I need the reverse. So what I'm going to see if I can do is I'm going to go ahead and just test this out, because I usually don't use this, but we'll go here. I'm going to go down to paint my value, whatever, and there it is. Right, so I'm just going to repaint this section and just test this out. So I'm just going to paint over top of this, and now I'm going to copy at 0. Nope, it just does the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here, go into vertex paint, and I'm just going to fix this paint job. And I'm going to just do the opposite. Okay, so instead of making shoulders red, I'll make the whole thing red up to about half. So I'm going to manually blend this portion. I'm going to go about half. And I'll manually blend the rest. And then for this section, we'll go up to about here. Right? Nice. Alright, so now I'm just going to select everything, export FBX, and then I should be able to just redo that, go back into here. Alright, we're just going to deactivate that real quick, and I'm going to just re-import base mesh and see what happens. It looks like everything came in fine. So I'm just going to save. Alright, perfect. And we're going to go back into active cloth paint. And now I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'll leave it at 1 for a second just to see. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Alright, I just wanted these areas to not be done. And I probably... Oh wait, no, I don't think it worked. Okay, so it didn't work exactly the way I want to. Because I don't think the data actually transferred. I didn't have to delete that. I don't know why I deleted it. Let's go back. Let's turn this off. Okay, so let's go back in here and do this again. So I'll probably have to do the whole reset thing again as well. Let's just go out of here, back in, out of here. Oh, this should be blanked, but whatever. Let's go to wireframe, isolate. Like this. Alright, cape, tx, fr, video. Alright, we'll hit save. And I could start doing the paint thing now as well if I wanted to. Which I think I might try real quick, just to see if I was right in my assumptions. We're going to isolate this, and I'm going to activate cloth paint. Let's go back to lit. Hey, it didn't create it. Oh, because it's not assigned anything. Okay. Yep, and you can also assign it down here as well if you know your slot. So, like this is the Valhalla cape, so I can go down to clothing and select this. Okay, so it looks like it applied. It looks like I don't really have it. It didn't reset on me. I thought it was going to reset on me, but it didn't. So I think that's a good thing. Go back to clothing, and I'm just going to turn this off. Let's save all. Go back into it, and there's my clothing. Nice. Activate cloth paint. It's assigned to the cape. Okay. Let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, there we go. Yeah, once it creates the physics, it just creates it based on whatever's there. So when you re-import stuff, like, and it had physics on it, it gets redone. You gotta redo it. All right, cool. So I'm going to redo this, and I'm going to set this to. Well, we're not. I was going to do 100. I think I'm only going to do like 75. Right, 75. Copy. There we go. Then I'm going to go to my brush, set it to smooth. I'm going to set my strength to 1 in my case, just because I want a very big, a wide blend. Alright, and I'm just going to, and I suggest you just play around with it, figure out what you want to do. Alright, I just blend it out, blend it out. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'll deactivate that. Now my cloth is moving. Yeah, nice. If I wanna, I like to use the rotate one to move it around, see how it moves. I mean, it doesn't look the best right now, so let's make some changes to it. So I can go to clothing, and this is going to be a pretty, let's see if I use dense total mass. It's not too bad. But I'll probably do a little bit more smoothing up at the top. I also like to turn on my simulation metrics. I typically use 6 and then have it cut out at 4 if it drops below. Alright, so we got it. It still looks a little bit clunky in my opinion. I'm not 100%, but you can see how like it's bouncing against the invisible mesh. I can go in here and turn that off. You can see how it's setting on the body. But let's go. I want it to have a little bit stiffer bending, so I'll turn that on. Hey, you rotate. Right, I like that. And you can change your buckling ratio and see how that all works for you. I don't want to really bend and buckle too much, so I'm setting it at 1. I think I might switch this to, well, I haven't tried uniform mass before. But I'll use density, and I'll just set density to 1. There we go. That's giving me, I think, a better look to it. I'm going to have some clipping. I'm not really super worried about it right now. Let's see, collision properties. I'm going to add the collision thickness. Now, for example, if you add like something like 20, you'll see that like it's like pushing it way out away from like the body. 1 is just the same size as the collisions. If I made this less than 1, then whatever collision capsules I have, it would be inside of that. So I'm just gonna make it like 2. I think should be fine, and that should keep it from like leaning up against the body too much. And that's only because it's already kind of like pushed out away from the body, so I don't think it's really a big deal. When your stuff is closer to the body and moving around, you just have to decide how you want to do it. Friction coefficient, I typically send to 0 so that it doesn't get caught up on itself or any of the collisions. So if it does clip within like collisions and collision capsules, if you're using actual capsules or whatever, setting the friction coefficient to 0 will allow it to kind of slip out of that a lot easier and not just get caught up in it. Environmental properties, I'm not messing with the damping too much right now. I'm going to just set this to 0.0001, and if you want to kind of see what this does, this only affects when like wind is going on, this particular property. So if I go to character and clothing, I could set the gravity scale, but I'll set the wind strength to, I usually use 160 as my reference. And you're like, look at that, it's going all over the place. Like, that's crazy. So I'll set the drag to 0.0001, and then I set the lift to 0.0001. And now it's just blowing in the wind. If I don't want it to really be affected by the wind at all, I could just make it even less, right? Add another 0. Right, so it's just barely moving in the wind. Because it's kind of heavy, so I don't think it should really get blown around. But that doesn't do anything for actual movement, right? So when I grab this bone and move stuff around, hey, that's still all the same as it was. Now, to affect that, because I still want to limit it just a little bit more, I'm going to go into the animation properties, and I'm not going to mess with stiffness, but these are the different values for how much it pulls. Like, so this one is, I believe, the X, the Y, and the Z. So movement laterally, how much energy is moving back and forth. So if I switch this to this, you see it's getting pulled. If I set this to 0, when I move to the side, it's still getting some energy from the other things, but not nearly as much. And if I set it to 1, then every little bit of movement will be transferred over. So I'm going to set this down to like 0.5 because this is relatively stiff. Front and back is the same. And then this part is a good one to use for like your dresses on how much you want it to come up and flip over. So if you see if I move the body up and down, it's going to kind of like, you know, it's moving up and down, right? If I set this to 0 and I move up, oops, and I grab this and I move it up and down, look, it's taking a lot more force to move it. So, but I'm just going to make it 0.5 across the board, and then this is twist. So how much it twists when it moves, and I'll set this down like 0.4, something really low. So it's still going to move because there's energy getting pushed through, but just the amount of energy is going to be a lot less. So there we go. Alright, so here's the idea. So I've got this physics set up, right? And you can see that the physics are set to whatever mesh that I used. And they're applied to this particular material in this example. Now, if I were to take those physics off, I could take them off and then apply them to a different material, which is what I'm going to attempt to do. So, this part I believe is done for the most part, so let's save it. And let's go back, and I'm going to grab, I'm going to make a new version of these. So let's go into here, but I'm going to, ooh, you know what though? I think I might have messed up because this rig, alright, I'm going to test this out real quick. Let's see. I believe that this, because this is just a pose, right? And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let's go to our current file. I'm in pose mode. I'm going to hit A. I'm going to go ahead and create a pose. Right, and then I'm going to go ahead and clear this, and there, now she's small. So I don't know for sure if I which body I grabbed. So I think what I need to do, let's go back into here, and I don't close that. I'm going to close that as well, and I need a new viewport because I don't have one. Viewport. Where is the stage? Cinematics, maybe? Sequencer. Details. Content bundles. I deleted it. I don't know which one of these it is though. Let me just add a new viewport. Oh, there it is. Alright, nice. I'll just stick it in on the side like that. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this little body, and where's my details panel? Do I not have one? I don't think I have one. I'm gonna grab a new window, details. Alright, whatever. Just like that. And I want this to be at, how do you do that lock thing? Alright, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so ideally, when I bring in my my physics mesh piece, this will be bigger. But I don't think that's going to be the case. And if it's not, then I did it wrong. And I gotta do it again. and it looks like, yeah, nope, it's not bigger at all. It's the exact same. Ah, that sucks. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and just eat those out of here. Goodbye. Yep, so I gotta do that all over again real quick, but it should be a quick process. What I'm going to do is grab all of this, hit Shift D. We'll call this common to MSL. Alright, nice. And then I'm going to hide everything. Let's find my common to MSL folder. Okay, nice. And I'm going to go into here, the pose mode, and now I'm going to reapply this pose. Oop, it's bigger. And I'm going to Control A all transforms, and then I'm going to apply. Alright, nope, then I'm going to, let's see, do I have any modifiers on here? Nope, not really. Okay, so I'm going to just convert to mesh. This will apply the armature transforms, all that good stuff. And then this, I'm going to pose mode, and I'm going to apply this. I'm actually going to delete it. I'm going to unparent everything and delete it. Parent, clear parent. Alright, and yeet, get out of here. Alright, the reason why I'm yeeting it is because I'm going to grab this one and use this one instead. So I'll bring this down, throw this in here. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to parent everything to this one because this one's the right size without an issue. Nice. Alright, so I'm in A. Let's go ahead and export. And I'm going to export it as version 2. Just in case I can reuse version 1. So I'm going to re-import, I believe. Alright, so before I do that, I'm going to turn off that, right? Just so if it tries to like recalculate or something, it shouldn't really have to. Alright, so I'm going to turn that off. Physics are still there, it's just off. And I'm going to re-import with a new file, and it's going to be version 2. Open. Alright, no issues. Cool. So we'll hit save. Let's see if I can just apply. Okay, I re-imported it, so I think I just yeeted out my cloth physics. Maybe. Well, let's see. I think I did something wrong, to be honest, but I'm just going to check anyways. So let's go to, this is the cape, so let's add this. And it looks to be okay, but I can't tell for sure. So I'm going to just do it one more time just to see what the difference is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. None. And I'm going to isolate this. Let's go back to wireframe. Reselect this one. Let's do the process one more time. Oh, I want a new body though as well. So let's grab this and this body. Export FBX. We'll grab this. This will be a V2 as well. And I'm just gonna import a new one. Okay, cool. And let's go ahead and create physics asset, and I'm gonna create this. What I do before? What I do before? I think I did 10 single 128. Anyways, create. I use 10. 20 is usually, I don't think it's enough. 20 actually might be fine for this case because it's just going to be like a general body shape. But it's going to, if you set it to like 1 or like 0.05 or something like that, you'll get like every single bone in the body being calculated, which could take a while. Because I've done it. And in this case, I'm not going to adjust any of it. I'm just going to use it and just bring it in. The benefit, of course, of using the multi-capsule ones is that you get something that's a lot more humanoid with a lot less effort. You might have to wait a little longer, but the level of effort is save all, not including a stage. All right, so I'm gonna go in here real quick, and I'm just gonna turn that off. There we go. That way it just shows up, and yeah. So now if I put this one here and this one here, they should now both be different sizes. Yep, there we go. Nice. Goodbye. Let's go into here, and now we'll grab this one. And we'll create alright, so cape TXFR. Alright, and then I'll go to this and apply V2, which it looked like it applied without any issues. Maybe. Oh, no, we're good. Nice. Alright, cool. So I should be able to go to activate cloth paint. I can go to V2, and I'm just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to just redo my settings, and I'm just going to do all these first. Alright, so that's already set, so that's cool. Mass properties, we'll set this to 1. Material, I'll set it to 1. Set that to 1. Collisions, I set it to 2. This was 0. Do not use these two. You don't need to use legacy backstop unless you have a specific purpose. So we'll do 0.12341. Point 12341. Point 3 zeros is usually the perfect set. I'm actually going to increase the gravity a little bit as well, so 1.5. Animation properties, we're going to just make these all 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. That's actually I want this 1.4. All right. So we'll close that. Let's go ahead and how do I do this? Oh, here. Copy vertex color. And so I did it at 75. I'm gonna do it at 100. Copy. Nice. And now I'm gonna use the smooth button first. And it kind of just does it for you, right? But it may not always be the best, but we can check it out and see what it looks like too. So we'll deactivate it, and now we can see it. And actually, it doesn't look too bad. Let's see. Alright, you see, like the top, this part up top looks fine. This part at the bottom, I definitely need to do some work. So let's go ahead and do that. It applies the smooth to the entire mesh, so there's that. I think I'm gonna bring. Oh, let's just smooth it first. So I'm just gonna smooth it all the way up to about here. And just try to get this part all smooth. Smooth. Okay, that looks a lot better. And we'll do just a little bit more so I move. All right. So I think that's pretty solid. For what I want to do. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now that that's done, essentially, I want the rest of the normal body, right? So I want all these other pieces like I had before for my upper body, right? Except this time we're now including this extra mesh here. Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yep. All right. And what do I want to do? What am I doing? I think I should be good to just bring this in. So I need to make sure this is set to my rig. Right, so make sure parent armature deform. So all those pieces are there. Let's go ahead and export FBX. And this is BDU. This is going to be version 2. Alright, there we go. So that's on there now. Let's do the same thing. Export X. And I could just replace these two, but I think I'm just going to bring in just 2 more meshes. Now, because I use the recursive, only the stuff that I actually include and it's related to it in like the BI that I actually use will actually go into my mod. So I can make as much stuff as I want in my folder without having like a bulky folder to deal with. But to do that, you have to make sure you set up your excluding folders correctly. Alright, so I'm going to select both of these. Because they're both going to be using different SKTs, I will not be able to use the import all. I'll just use a regular import. And then this one's PRP. I will also need to make sure that the vert counts and the triangle counts are the same. So we'll check those real quick. So this is 174 and 898. This is 174 and 898. So that's perfect. So we'll go ahead and save those. Okay, so now the goal is going to be I'm going to add clothing, right? So I'm going to minimize that for a second. I'm going to go to my physics and I'm going to find this SK, right? I'm going to select it, copy it, and we'll go to add clothing, and then I'm going to find it and turn that on. Alright, and so it brought in the stuff for those 2 clothings. Now I shouldn't have to create a new physics asset, I don't believe, because these are still going to be referencing the other pieces. So I should be good there. I'm going to hit save. It may save, it may reset my stuff, I have no idea. Nothing's applied yet, so I don't think it will reset, but who knows. Alright, cool, good. Now I need to go into my asset details. My cape, I shouldn't have to mess with any of, oops, I don't have to, want cow mesh. I shouldn't have to mess with anything here. I need to add an actual thing here, but I want to make sure I've got, oops, this one. I want to now apply the cloth. So in this case, this is going to be number 2, and this is where, okay, and that looks like it's working. So I'm just going to hit save, and I'm hoping that the physics looks fine in game. Where this really will be like a test is going to be if I put this on like Ling or something, right? Which I might do. I gotta figure out who the tallest and the shortest characters are, which I could find out pretty quickly. But I digress. But let's go ahead into materials. I'm gonna go ahead and, what is the material name? This one. Copy. And I'm going to make a new material. Stands, boom. Alright. And I'm going to use the cloth material that Uman made, or emulated. And we're just going to need base cloth. We'll need an MRA and a normal map. Just make sure you turn all 4 of these things on. Set your tiling to 1. Set these to 0. Perfect. If you want any masking, make sure you include it in your color map. Go to textures. Let's go ahead and bring in a new textures, and it's just these 3. And I don't think emissive works. I think that's what we all figured out, or what other people would figured out. So there's our normal map, which I have to reverse. So I'll just hit flip. Here we go. Now we got bumps instead of divots. We'll grab this MRA, and we'll grab this color map. Alright, nice. While I'm in here, I might as well, I think I'm going to switch out my materials. Okay, and actually I'm going to copy, and I'm going to duplicate this one, rename it this, and call this one B2. And this we'll just use one of the textures. So I made an MRA for that one earlier, so we'll put that there. This is the default color map. Put that there, and this is the normal map. Nice. Alright, it's also important that when you're dealing with common items, that the materials match each other. So in this case, I've got this material. I didn't want to get rid of it, so that's why I just made the copy. So we'll grab this Valhalla 2. That's the original one. And I'm turning that back. It doesn't matter for this one because I'm not using that one. I'm using this one. So this will be this. And this will be this. There we go. Very nice. And I need to make sure this is set to cal mesh as well. And we do not put the physics on the PRP. They only go on the MSL. Alright, so it's save all. And I think that might be one of the reasons why we run into some issues with the physics. I haven't tried putting the physics on the PRP, to be honest. It might solve some problems. I am definitely gonna have to try that out. I might try it out in a little bit. Okay, cool. So I need to make some adjustments here. So for my BDU, my BI, I need to switch out my meshes. Save. I'm going to switch out the material since I can't color it anymore. So we'll switch this, or because I'm not having it colorable. 2. And I'll do the same thing for the boots. Now my preview image is going to be the same. I'm not changing that at this point. Okay, so we'll save all of that. I don't care about the stage. Save. Alright. So I'm going to make a couple of changes. So I'm going to create a new CI, and this is going to be an empty, these are just the empty CIs because I'm not going to be coloring it, and I'll have to update my my IP as well. So customize CI. Shoe. Alright, save all. Let's go into my mod here real quick. And so I want to go to my BDU. And actually, I didn't even need to go to it. I just open it up. And let's go. And I want to replace the CI. Open up this one for the bottoms. And replace the CI. Because I don't want it to be looking for something that's not there. It may or may not cause an issue. I just rather it just not have the possibility of creating an issue. All right, so I'll save that. So I've updated my BI for the body upper because that's the only mesh that actually changed. And then I updated my IP so that I've got these default CIs set to them. Let's see, do I need anything else? I don't think so. Alright, so anytime I do all these switch around stuff, I'm going to go ahead and close that viewport. Open up a new level, empty level, create, don't save. Save all. Alright. So I should be good to go, I believe. And if it doesn't work, then whatever. There's other options that I can go about doing if I want physics. So I'm going to go ahead and let this package itself up. The next thing should be relatively simple. I'm going to build the mask using the in-game head. Right, I'm not going to use my asset library. I think I need to make a video soon. I think this weekend I'm probably going to work through my my add-ons, make sure they're nice and organized, make sure what I have uploaded into my GitHub is correct, and then I'll just do a video on setting them up, identifying what is working and what isn't working, so that when people watch these vids, if they choose to watch them, they'll be able to use the same things I'm using, or at least know where to get them. But the concepts are the same. The concepts is what I want people to get to see. And the more you do it, the faster you get. Like I think I did the other one. I'm trying to keep it like under 4 hours total from a start to finish mod. But then all the tweaks I like to add, you can easily push it to a couple of more days to actually get finished. And does it include hair? Am I rebuilding hair? Am I rebuilding textures? Am I creating brand new masks from scratch? Am I creating complicated masks, or am I creating simple masks? All kinds of stuff. I think Umin is recreating a fully emulated base master material, which should be pretty good. I don't know how he's doing it and incorporating like all of the pieces that it can stem from, but he's putting a lot of work to it, so far it looks pretty good. I think he needs to break some of the things down into individual functions, but I mean, whatever, as long as it works. It's also not actually going into the game, but it's just going to be, no matter how complicated it is, it won't slow your game down because we don't have custom M material, so we can't put it in there. We're just making it work in the engine. But there's so many cool things that you could do with that. You can like bypass, right? Like if you just create your model, right? Set up your ID maps, you can then just who cares about coloring it? You can come in and just do all your coloring in engine, right? It's super easy. And then applying the textures with the correct tiles, like so when you want to add like a leather material or something and you already got like a solid ID set up, like you just do it right here. Mine isn't 100% set. Like I've got a good 75% set and it's functional and it works. So that's why I have it. And there's a couple variations, but it's boring making a bunch of stuff like that. I choose not to do it. And if Uman's making it if someone else is making it and it works and it looks good, there's good. The one thing I am will need to test is if I built my script that creates my CIs automatically, will be able to uh, work with um, Umin's emulated material, which I think it should. I think that it should. You know, to be honest, one of the things that I should have did with this particular mod is, and I probably will do it, is rather than, um, I should have just made a new data asset with tweaks to it. No, no, I couldn't do that. Couldn't do that because I need new CIs. I mean, I could, but I don't know how beneficial it would be. All right, so let's see. While that is going on, let's see what I want to do next. We'll do the head. All right, so let's take a. Let's see what we got here. So, all right, here's our head. And hit M, new collection, and this should be one head. And that's the position ID it would be in game, so that's why I'm using that. Let's see, I can hide this now. I can hide that for now. And what I want is, oh, the other part is pretty simple, is, well, it depends on how we do this. So, you can set up your cow meshes so this is all one big piece. Actually, let's see what that looks pretty good. Okay, so what I'm probably going to do is I think I am going to well, I'll show you what I mean. Let's see. Let's go to zip packs. Where did I save it? Oh, right here. I like this mod. I don't want to get rid of it. I'm gonna turn it off. So I'm gonna grab this and deactivate specific folder. Hit 5. We'll grab this, drop it in here, hit enter. Alright, so all that does is it just adds this little dash X at the end. And now I'm going to paste my new one. So this is, and I'm going to put this, let's see, colorable. No. Physics. I'm just going to drop this in here. Now, I have to be careful though. If I decide to like bring all these back, this one is gonna cause problems if both of these are loaded at the same time. Alright, let's see what it looks like in game. And since I didn't change the IP information, um, if I load the existing mod, it should just work. Another thing that I should be able to do actually, is I could probably, no, I'm just talking. Let's see if this works. Alright, looks like it's working pretty good. Let me go ahead and switch this out or something. What do I want? Look at that, she's super hooked up. Nice. Okay, but it's sticking out of her back a bit, which I don't like. And that could be for a bunch of reasons. I don't know what the reasons are though. Let's see what it looks like in motion. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, it is popping out of her bag, so I'm definitely gonna have to fix that. I think maybe the physics are, and it's doing that weird flexy thing, which I don't like.
Skończymy przed moim kolejnym spotkaniem.
Oh, I think you see how her hand was like affecting it? I don't like that.
Bądźmy dumni z tej walki.
Yeah, I think I might.
Muszę wygrać w imię wszystkich Polaków. Os!
I hate that it does that little poppy thing. I don't know why it does that, but it's always done that.
Mam chwilę przed kolejnym spotkaniem. Ciekawe, czy tamta restauracja jest jeszcze otwarta. Mam chwilę przed kolejnym spotkaniem. Ciekawe, czy tamta restauracja jest jeszcze otwarta.
It's so annoying.
Bądźmy dumni z tej walki.
Alright, I think that's all I'm going to do tonight. I had a long day at work, so I don't think I'm going to do much more than that today.
Get ready for the next battle.
I'm trying to think. I think I'm going to go to the windiest stage. It's also the darkest stage as well. Hey, I'm not using Panda right now. Yeah.
Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle.
Przygotuj się! Gotowa! Bez litości!
What do you mean I can't move the camera here? Why can't I move the camera here? W imię wszystkich Polaków! Walcz z honorem! Przesadziłam. I think it looks pretty good. X. It's on player heat. Wait, did I already? I don't even know. That's 3, 2. What can I do instead of that? Why doesn't it let me take control? Is it on this way? Oh, you turn that on. Wait, what? Yeah, right, dude. I get that. Okay, so let's see. Come on, I gotta get. Oh, come on.
Imię przy...
Wait. How is that?
To koniec! To koniec!
If that wall's playing, that'd be crazy. So that's 30. Quarter circle 4 too.
Bezsprzecznie! Bezsprzecznie! To koniec! Bezsprzecznie!
Do I mean? Hold up. Like it.
Cia! Ja! Bezpiecznie!
That's gone.
Ja! W imię wszystkich Polaków! Ja! Bezpiecznie! Gotowa się!
Wait, what?
Ja! Bezpiecznie! Gotowa się! Ja! Gotowie! Gotowa się! Ja! Bezpiecznie! Ja! Bezpiecznie! Gotowa się!
Stop this.
Ja! Bezpiecznie! Hej! Ja! Bezpiecznie! Gotowa się! Ja! Bezpiecznie! W imię wszystkich Polaków!
Oh, it doesn't.
Bezpiecznie! W imię wszystkich Polaków!
So wait, hold it. If I use my heat, so
Bezpiecznie! Gotowa się!
I can kill.
Bezpiecznie!
like. That's probably the easiest. Oh goodness. Oh, but then what's the biggest bulb after that? Wait, I can move around now? Oh, what is that? I know, okay. I think it's just a little bit out, but I think... Is it? Or is it weighted weird? I'll go up. Up. I can't tell if it's just the metal. It might just be the metal. What can you do? Can't do like this thing forward. That's a cool photo. Gloves and hands all look good. Like no animation there.
W imię wszystkich Polaków!
That's actually kind of cool. How do you take a picture? I don't know how to take a picture.
Walcz z honorem!
Yeah, I think it's waiting.
Przesadziłem.
Wait, what? On 3 stacks or 1+2 throw? Oh, but only in the air? How's that camera animation? Whatever, I don't understand. These animations are crazy. I don't know how to control the thing. Why are our hands together like that? Oh, there's actually, it's not too bad. The shoulders. Shoulders came out really nice, I think. Why is this? This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I'm done. Hey, what up? Nice. What's up, Lee? I'm about to leave though. Oh, don't worry about it, Ravenheart. My stuff is not for the stream. My stuff is for the review later. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Hope y'all have a good one. I think the next time I do this stream, I'm gonna finish up the head and do the wings. But I'll be cutting all this down to size. I think I'm trying to, at least. Finally, I'll learn to edit. I swear I will. If I can mod, I can edit. You know what I mean? But that's it for the night. Adios.